Hi, this is Mrs. Sunny. I'm going to teach you how to tune your instruments today. Please do not try to tune yourself at first, at least. Please try to tune with your parents. First, you need to download the Tuner app. I'm using Soundcorset Tuner app. I think that's the easiest tuning app that I've experienced so far. So this tuning app is for any smartphone. Um, this is what it looks like. The icon looks like. So I'm going to click this. So this is what it looks like. So you're going to see the letter name on the bottom, and then you're going to see a needle going back and forth. So this is my right, and this is my left when I look at it. So if the needle's on the right, that means your string sound high. And if the needle goes to your left, that means your sounded low. So if it's high, you can say it's sharp. If you go to your left, you can say it's flat. And make sure the letter name you see is um, match with your string name, open string name. So if you want to tune D string, it says F. That means you are too high. That means you loosen your pegs or fine tuner to go down, so it can go down to D. Later on, I'll show you how to do that. But make sure that you are close to the letter name towards your string name, and make sure match with your open string name that you are tuning. So this is how to use it. And then you want to stay in the middle as much as possible. Oops, what did I do? Use as possible. And if in the green, it's going to give you check and give you green light. So even though you're not perfectly in the middle, it's okay. You're pretty close. So this is why this is pretty good. Um, so this is how to use the app. I'll show it to you later. And another thing is how to use fine tuners, and then how to use these pegs. Make sure that this is a viola, by the way. A string pegs, you have to see which pegs has string tied to it. So usually this is A, the highest string, and then next highest string, and then the other highest string, this is lowest. So if you're not sure, make sure you look at the string and which pegs they tied to. So very carefully do it, otherwise you're gonna turn the wrong pegs. Now, you need to use the pegs when strings are really out of tune. So when you pluck it, the letter name is not even close to the string that you're tuning, then that's the time you need to use your pegs. Otherwise, you need to use fine tuners most of the times. These fine tuners usually you're needed because they just use a little bit at a time. Easy to use, pegs harder to use. And one thing, very cautious about using pegs, you don't turn your pegs one way or the other a lot. You use it very little bit at a time. Otherwise, you're going to loosen your string too much, or you tighten too much, you end up breaking it. So please be careful. Same thing with fine tuners. I have a couple of students, they loosen the fine tuner too much and it came off. So make sure that you don't loosen too much of it or you don't tighten too much of it. If you tighten too much, you cannot tighten anymore. So you on your fine tuners, little bit, you have enough to go down and up. So make sure you loosen your fine tuners if you weigh too much down. Also, when you use your pegs, when you go higher, your peg turn the other side, which is a right clockwise, but if you turn your peg the other side, that is go higher. If you turn your peg towards you, you're loosening. So when you tighten your pegs, that you have to push in a little bit as you tighten, and then when you lower your or loosen your pegs, you pull out a little bit so it comes off easily. But one or the other, you don't put it in a lot or you pull it out too much. If you pull it out too much, it comes off from the peg box, or if you push in too much, it's going to get stuck. So it's a gentle push in, gentle pull out. So that's one thing you have to be very careful. Here is my very out of tune viola. You can tell this is not good. So I would like to tune A first. Here's A. So it's not even near. It's E flat. So that's not good. So it's on my left side. That means it's too low. So I'm going to push in my A peg that side, my opposite of. So I'm going to pluck and then push in a little bit. See, I'm using very little at a time, just a little bit. When my letter name went up, let's go to G flat, G. So after G is A, so I need to go even higher. Still, the needle indicates it's too low. A flat means I need to go higher. This is A flat zone, so I need to go higher. A flat means this sounds still low, so I need to go to A. So I'm going to push in a little bit more. See how, notice that I push it very little bit. See, now I'm letter A, but still my needle's still on the left. So I'm going to use a fine tuner. So same thing, I'm going to use a fine tuner very little. I'm going to turn twice already. Hey, it gives me green light. A little too much. So this is green. It's in the green area, so it's good. Good. So let me do A. I mean D, I'm sorry. D. So So my needle's down. So I don't need to use a peg at all because it's already in D area. Just I need to do a little bit. So I'm going to use fine tuners only. I'm turning a little bit, about twice. Okay, I'm in the middle. Very good. I'm in the middle zone. And then, okay, next one is, we did A, we did D, and then next one is G. Ooh, it says A flat. So A flat means higher than G. That means I need to lower it. So let me see. So I'm going to use the peg. Notice I'm using very, very little turning. G flat. So that's good. Good. This is G. So I need to use my fine tuner. Maybe I want to do a little bit higher. It's pretty close. So I'm done using my peg. I'm going to do fine tuner. Well, it's okay. It's not perfectly in the middle. It changes. Good. G. So far, so good. How about C? Oh, it doesn't even picking it up. It's so out of tune. So I definitely need to, I could tell it's kind of very low. So I'm going to tighten my peg. So notice I'm using very little. I'm going over that side to make it higher. Oh, I'm in D flat. So that means I turn too much. So I'm going to turn it the other side towards me. So it's close enough. So I'm going to use my pegs. After B is C. So since this is C string, so I'm going to use my peg. So I don't want to turn too much of pegs. Now notice the lower string is harder to pick up by the sound. So notice. If the needle's not moving, that means it takes time to hear it. They're not really listening right now. So this is actually a good example. Sometimes if needle's not working, that means my Wi-Fi somehow is not working or slow to response. Now it's moving. So I got a green light. Okay, so this is how you tune your instruments. So happy tuning and keep on practicing. Bye bye.